The anticipated audiobook release of the #1 Amazon bestseller, American Gilt, debut, is coming soon to Audible audiobooks. Book 1 of the American Gilt trilogy, Debut is described as a merging of the Age of Innocence with Downton Abbey. This biographical Gilded Age tale is based on the true story of American debutante Sara Swan Whiting. Our story begins in Newport, Rhode Island, 1880. Granddaughter of esteemed Ohio Supreme Court Judge Gustavus Swan, Sara is descended from a rich ancestry, granting her membership into the elite circles of respectable New York society. Described as ethereally beautiful and the spirit of the ball, Sara Swan Whiting is groomed for one purpose: to marry well in a respectable society union. Along with her friends, Carrie Astor and Edith Jones Wharton, the women make their debut amidst prominent New York families. Making the acquaintance of many eligible bachelors at the opera and fancy balls, none attract her interest. None until destiny steps in when Sara is introduced to Oliver Belmont, the handsome son of financier August Belmont, the king of Fifth Avenue commerce and the ambassador of the Rothschilds' fiduciary interests in America. Consigned to the Navy for career training, Oliver is expected to follow in the footsteps of his uncle and war hero namesake, Oliver Hazard Perry. But Oliver develops a great distaste for the Navy, and in fact all careers presented to him as vocational options. Knowing marriage will deliver him a large stipend from his father, Oliver embarks on a mission to find a suitable wife. After first being introduced at American parties and balls, Oliver and Sara meet again while in Paris. Their courtship grows into a deeper romance. Oliver and Sara fall in love amidst the propriety and provisions of polite society. While on an afternoon outing in Paris, Oliver spontaneously proposes marriage, which Sara delightfully accepts. But this is an age when royal titles and large dowries are exchanged through marriage. Oliver's parents object to the engagement, angered by his failure to first obtain their consent. In addition, they insist Oliver find a career before he can consider a wife and family, concerned that Oliver's upbringing has promoted a lifestyle of self-indulgence. And they don't particularly approve of Miss Whiting's American sensibilities and independent spirit. Attempting to thwart his half-engagement, Oliver is sent to Germany for a 2-year apprenticeship in the Rothschilds' banking house. During this time, he is forbidden to see Sara in hopes that Oliver will lose interest in her. Heartbroken, Sara continues to socialize to avoid rumors and gossip, while her mother belabors the Belmonts, demanding they honor the engagement that Oliver extended to her daughter, saying a marriage proposal is not something that is tossed around like an opera invitation. Meanwhile, Oliver, in Germany, continues pushing for permission to marry Miss Whiting, well aware that marriage will relieve him of his father's pestering for a career and allow him to return to America, as well as supply him with a handsome allowance. His efforts, it seems, are in vain, and Oliver becomes despondent, indulging in gambling and drinking absinthe to excess. Mrs. Belmont suspects Oliver's decline, finally appealing to her husband for a solution before the affair brings them disgrace and scandal. At his wife's urging, Mr. Belmont acquiesces to the marriage. Book 1, American Gilt Debut, concludes with the wedding of Sara and Oliver. Happily married with the blessing of both families, they depart for an extended honeymoon in Paris. But fate is not so kind as to deliver the couple to the happily ever after of their marital fantasies. With information gathered from family letters, historical books, and newspapers, as well as personal interviews, author J.D. Peterson weaves a tale of love and social propriety based on the true story of the life of Sara Swan Whiting. Find out for yourself why the American Gilt trilogy is a #1 Amazon bestseller.